Welcome to Wise Tales and Lessons. Once upon a time, in a quaint little village nestled between rolling hills and thick forests, there lived a small black sheep named Ebony. Ebony lived on a humble farm with an old farmer, Mr. Hawthorne, and his wife, Mrs. Hawthorne. The couple was elderly and poor, but their love for each other and for Ebony was immeasurable. They took great care of her, ensuring she had fresh grass to graze on, a warm stable to sleep in, and soft hay to curl up in when the nights turned chilly. Their hands were worn from years of hard labor, but they never spared a moment to show Ebony how much they cared. But as sweet as her life on the farm was, Ebony felt something stirring inside her. She wasn't like the other sheep. She had dreams of adventure, of exploring the world beyond the fences, of breaking free from the safety and predictability of farm life. While the other sheep were content to graze in the meadow, Ebony gazed longingly at the distant forest, where shadows danced between the trees and mysterious sounds filled the air. One evening, as the sun set low, painting the sky with hues of pink and orange, Ebony ventured closer to the edge of the forest. That was when she met him, the wolf. He was unlike any creature Ebony had ever seen before. His fur was silvery and sleek, his eyes glimmered with a strange, alluring light, and his voice, smooth as velvet, made her feel as though she were under a spell. "Hello, little sheep," he said, his voice rich and warm. "You are such a beautiful creature, far more graceful than any of the other animals around here." Ebony's heart fluttered. She had never been so complimented before. She felt a connection with him, something she couldn't quite explain but couldn't resist. His words were soft, seductive, and full of promises. "I know you long for something more than this farm life," he continued. "Come, join me in the forest. There's a place where we can be free, where no one will tell us what to do." Ebony's heart raced. The thought of freedom, of exploring the wilds of the forest, filled her with excitement. She felt drawn to the wolf, as if his very presence beckoned her into the unknown. She hesitated for only a moment, but then, remembering her longing for adventure, she agreed. But unknown to Ebony, the wolf had a darker side. Beneath his smooth exterior, he was cunning and cruel, a predator who had deceived many before her. His intentions were not to offer freedom, but to lure her into a trap. He had seen her beauty and thought of how easy it would be to make her his prey. But to Ebony, he was a dream come true. Back on the farm, Mr. and Mrs. Hawthorne had noticed the change in their beloved sheep. They had heard rumors of the wolf's presence in the forest, and they knew how dangerous he could be. One evening, as they were sitting by the fire, Mrs. Hawthorne looked out the window and saw Ebony standing at the edge of the forest, gazing at the wolf with wide, trusting eyes. With a heavy heart, Mrs. Hawthorne called out to her, "Ebony, come back, stay here with us. The wolf, he is not to be trusted." But Ebony, eager to explore and blinded by the wolf's charm, ignored their warnings. She thought they didn't understand. She believed the wolf's promises, and in her youthful naivety, she was convinced that love and freedom awaited her in the forest. The next morning, with a heavy heart, she left the farm and made her way deep into the forest to meet the wolf. The trees were tall and dark, their branches twisted in strange patterns, and the air was thick with an eerie silence. She followed the wolf's voice, which called her deeper into the woods, until she found herself in a clearing. But as soon as she stepped into the clearing, Ebony felt a chill crawl up her spine. The wolf's demeanor had changed. His eyes were no longer soft, but cold and calculating. His smile twisted into something sinister, and Ebony realized too late that she had walked into a trap. The wolf's intentions were clear now. He wasn't interested in love or freedom. He had planned to kill her from the start. He lunged at her, his sharp teeth gleaming in the moonlight. Ebony's heart pounded in her chest as she dodged his claws, barely escaping the wolf's grasp. She ran, her legs aching with fear and exhaustion, her mind racing with thoughts of the farmer's warning. As she sprinted through the forest, the sharp thorns and branches tore at her wool, but she didn't stop. She couldn't stop. The thought of what might have happened if she had stayed with the wolf, if she had listened to his lies, filled her with terror. Through the tangled woods she ran, desperate to escape. Eventually, with bruises, cuts, and scratches all over her body, She emerged from the forest and stumbled back onto the familiar path leading to the farm. Her heart raced and her breaths were shallow, but she was safe. She had survived. As she lay in the warmth of the stable, Ebony realized the truth. The farmers had warned her about the wolf. They had seen through his charming words and his false promises. Their love for her had always been genuine, never driven by hidden motives. They cared for her, protected her, and would have always kept her safe. If only she had listened sooner, she wouldn't have had to face the danger in the forest. But there was more Ebony learned that day. Love, she understood now, was not just about beautiful words and promises. It was about trust, honesty, and safety. The wolf had deceived her with his charm, but the love of the farmers was unwavering and pure. The next time she met someone, whether they were a charming stranger or a seemingly perfect match, she would remember the lessons the farmers had taught her. That love was not about being swept away by attraction, but about mutual respect and care. And so from that day forward, Ebony stayed close to the farm, where she was loved and safe. She no longer sought the thrill of the unknown, but instead cherished the warmth of her home and the security of true, honest love. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an inspiring message. Your support helps us continue sharing stories that uplift, heal, and connect us all. Stay mindful, stay peaceful, and I'll see you in the next one.